Voyager, and ladies and gentlemen, last I left off, I went ahead and got all the windows in, and I don't want to bore everyone to death because I did a little masking too. But on the windows, if you can see, got all them on the primary hole and also on the secondary hole. One thing I got to do is I got to go back in with a 5-minute epoxy and basically just put a kind of reinforce them along the edges just to make them extra secure, because I did mask them. And if you notice the red, that's actually pinstripe tape. Now I recommend, if you do starships, get the vinyl mask like Aztec Dummies. If he's got any Voyager mask window set or something, or someone else that offers one, I recommend that, because it just saves you time and you don't have to mask all the windows off with tape. But pinstripe tape worked perfectly for the windows, so I just masked all of them off with that. So after I got it masked, I'm going to go back in and fill everything in with basically 5-minute epoxy just to secure it, because once you, where's Mr. Knife at? Because I'm going to have to go back in after I paint it, and I got to take the mask out, and I have actually pushed a window in and trying to fish it out and trying to glue back in. So try to do things in advance so we don't have to go fish out the window that's in a closed starship. But anyway, that's where I am on Voyager. So we did the windows, and basically down to putting in a few other little parts, and then we can start basically putting in the clear parts and start lighting it. The nacelles, I went ahead, I use Tamiya's clear. I just dipped it in, and then I usually take a little bit of this and put it in a little bit of a cup, and then take a little bit of Future and just pretty much dip the part in. Just makes it more of a candy finish, and it just more durability. So when you mask off the clear parts, it's just easier that way. But anyway, that's where I am on that. I need to do the I need to dip the deflector dish and the warp nacelles, and I use again, I use Tamiya clear blue on that. And then we'll back everything with white paper so you don't see the try to diffuse the lights so you don't see the hot spot of the LED. But anyway, that's where I am on Voyager. So hopefully we'll get a little more done on that. The monster truck, I started to assemble the tires, in which I only got one done. I'm working on the other one. So we're on that. So I started painting, and again, I'm kind of doing the hard part here. Is I assemble first and then trying to paint through paint through the frame. So I started with the motor, and I don't know if you can actually see the motor. It's actually a lot of dry brushing, and then I'm going to put in a few washes, and then I'm going to go in. I don't have it handy. See if I can find it. Probably not. Well, first one I grab, I'll just Vallejo makes a metallic pigment, and that's what we're going to use. I want to sprinkle in some of the metallic pigment in here, and basically do a pigment on it, and then do another dry brushing wash just to bring out the more of the motor. And I'm basically I don't want to you know how it's vibrant on the monster trucks. If you look at all the parts on a monster truck, some of them are really painted certain colors, like the drive shaft frame here. I've seen them when they're bright yellow. I've seen them when they're bright red. Well, I went with the yellow, but I'm going to go with more of a worn look. So I want to get the yellow on there, but I also want to get dust and a little bit, not of grime, but dust and dirt on there. But that's the way I kind of like the faded look more. So that's what I'm trying to do with the engine. I want it not bright silver, but at least it's it's there and you can see it once you get up on it. But anyway, that's where I am on Mr. Monster Truck. So hopefully I'll get a little more done today, and then we'll continue on painting a little bit here and there, and just have fun doing that. The body, one thing I wanted to do is I didn't want to do traditional flames, hot rod flames, and you'll see them if you ever on decal sheets, and if you look them up. I wanted to do a custom, basically my interpretation of it, and to keep it different. I kind of basically wanted to, if you ever see me do camouflage on a tank, that's the way I like to do. I like to do just a different design, you know, just kind of go with the flow. And basically, there's really no plan on this. It was just tape it off, draw out the flames, cut them out with the X-Acto knife, and see what happens. So I got the, and I don't know if you can actually see the flames that I drew. And I went ahead and decided to go with pink and red, and hopefully, you know, the two-tone color. And then I'm going to go back in after, because I did cut the flames out, sprayed it. I'm going to go back in, and I don't have any. I got to go get some pink paint, and I want to do a little pink and white, and basically outline the flames. Do a little, I'm going to call it a hot spot, you know, where it's kind of a lighter here, and then fade up, you know, to the darker pink, you know, in the middle here. That's my game plan. We'll just see what happens, what it looks like after I get done with that. But anyway, got the flames on, or starting the flames on the Devilette. But anyway, that's what I got going on today. We are painting the Devilette. Hopefully get a little more done today, and don't like to bore everyone, but we are getting the windows in on Voyager. So that's what I got going on today, so stay tuned for the next exciting episode.